So I'm just gonna blame someone now? So the police doesn't make any sense. Masaru Kinoshita. It could be. It could be. Yuko. Ugh. So I can take Yushi Akishi one more time. I'll blame the sister. Or should I say Tadashi Imagawa-san? No, that's not right. I should think a little harder. The real criminal is... No, that's not right. Okay, so the game is forgiving. Yuko Kinoshita.
Kiryuさん、それではその人物の名前を教えてください。6年前、小田さんを殺し、明智さんに罪をかぶせた事件の真犯人とは一体？
犯人はお前だ。木下優子、お前が小田を殺した真犯人だ。
I don't know that the evidence pointed to her. Yuko killed Oda-san? An interesting theory. But why would I kill Oda-san? I didn't have any reason to do anything like that. Yeah, Yushi Akishi's motive was Usami-san's relationship with Oda. Exactly how are Yuko-san and Oda-san connected? I need something to prove Yuko and Oda knew each other somehow. Oda was dating someone at the time. Somebody who used to work as a waitress at Cafe Alps. Is that true? Yeah, and her last name was Saito. Saito. That's Yuko's maiden name. I hear you worked at this cafe until just before the time of the murder. Yuko-san and Oda-san were dating? I didn't know that. Yuko-san, is that true? I don't have to answer that. Yuko. If Oda-san was dating Yuko-san, then Usami-san wasn't the only one cheating. Oda was cheating too. And that means Yuko-san's also had motive to kill Oda-san. So anyone with a motive is a killer. You haven't done anything but hypothesize. Exactly. You've only talked about possibilities. Do you have any conclusive evidence that she murdered him? Conclusive evidence, like fingerprints? If I only had something with Yuko's fingerprints on it. Yuko's business card. This is the evidence. Is that my business card? This business card has your fingerprints on it. We should be able to compare the prints on this card to the ones on the murder weapon.
そうだな。
Given that business card, let's check it out right now. We've finished analyzing the prints on the card. These are Yuko Kinoshita's prints. And these are the prints on the ashtray.
Oh!
The prints on Yuko-san's business card are the same as one on the murder weapons. I don't believe it. How do you explain that? Even if my prints are on that ashtray, so what? How does that change anything? What do you mean? I ate at Alps the day of the murder. I must have just touched the ashtray while I was there. She's right. There's no crime in touching an ashtray. She was just a customer. No, Yuko's lying. You should call her out on it. Wakasu's testimony. There's no record of Yuko coming to the Cafe House on the day of the crime. No, you're lying. What the hell are you talking about? There's no record of you coming to the cafe the day of the murder. Right, Detective Maeda? He's right. We had Cafe Alps employees watch all the security tapes and they gave statements that no other cafe employees, former or otherwise, visit the cafe that day. Right, Kinoshita-san? That's right. I'd seen Yuko-san's face before, so I would have noticed if she was on those tapes. She definitely wasn't.
なるほど。
Which means you didn't come to Cafe Alps on the day of the murder as a customer. So why were your fingerprints on the ashtray then?
違うわよ。
Fine, maybe it was on the day of the Maybe it wasn't on the day of the murder. I might have... it might have been the day before. It's not that big of an issue. Nope. You had to have been there the day of the murder. You weren't the customer. You were the real murderer. The only people who could have prints on the murder weapon were those who visited the day of the murder.
どういうこと？
How did you come to that conclusion? And now for the coup de grace. I just need something to prove when prints on the murder weapon were made. What should I give? All fingerprints on the ashtray were made on the day of the incident. The ashtrays here are cleaned every day, but your prints were still on the murder weapon. That means you had to have been there the day of the murder.
そんな。
But the day of the murder, a customer dropped the ashtray, chipping it. Yushi Akishi saw the chipped ashtray and instead of washing it, decided to throw it out. Since you couldn't have come to the cafe as a customer that day, there's only one time you could have left your prints on the ashtray. You did it after Akishi dropped the ashtray in the locker room when he witnessed Usami cheating on him with Oda. Sometime after Akishi left and before Kitoshita came to check up on him, you entered the locker room and murdered Oda. Then you put on Imigawa's uniform and went out the back. Isn't that right? Yuko-san, is what Kiryu-san says true? It will only get worse if you stay quiet. Shut up. I told you I didn't do it.
Yamero!
I give up, Yuko. I'm putting an end to this. What? Do you know something, Kinoshita-san? I knew you came to the cafe that day, Yuko. What? How? I could smell you. It was very faint, but I could smell your perfume all around the crime scene. No way. Why didn't you say this earlier? I'd been in love with Yuko ever since we worked together. That's why I knew the scent of her perfume the minute I smelled it. Sometime after the murder, it happened to run into her again. Eventually, we started dating. One day I brought up the murder and her face went white. She felt quiet and avoided commenting on anything. That's when I was sure Yuko had been here the day of the crime. Well, I'll be. But I still didn't know exactly what that meant. Or I should say, I didn't want to know what that meant. When I found out Kiryu-san was looking into that old crime, I decided to keep it all a secret. But now Yushi Akishi has suffered 6 years of a crime he didn't commit. All because I didn't say anything. It's all my fault. I just had to... if I had just spoken up, none of this would have happened. Gee, Kinoshita-san.
Sa, もう言い逃れはできないぜ。
優子さん、今一度尋ねます。あなたが小田さんを殺したんですか？
そうよ。私がやったのよ。
はい。Will you give a statement that Yushi Akishi is innocent? Yes. Akishi-san had nothing to do with the murder. Yuko, how could you have done such a thing? Was it really just because Oda-san was cheating? Of course, that's what it was about. He said he was going to marry me. That day was his.
あの日は彼の小田さんの誕生日だった。
Oda-san's birthday.
だから私は彼を驚かそうと思ってプレゼントを持ってお店に向かったの。もうお店も閉まっている時刻だったから裏口から入ってロッカールームに向かったわ。でもそこで見たのは他の女と浮気してる彼の姿だった。私はとっさに身を引いて隠れた。落ち着いて目の前で何が起きてるのか理解しようと努めたわ。そのすぐ後に明智さんがやってきた。明智さんはロッカールームの中を覗いて小田さんと宇佐美さんの浮気現場を目撃すると
Grabbed Oda-san.
言い争うような声が聞こえた後、すぐに宇佐美さんがロッカールームから出てきて裏口から店の外へ出て行ったわ。 すぐに明智さんも宇佐美さんの後を追って店の外へ出て行ってしまった。明智さんと宇佐美さんが出て行った後、私はロッカールームの中へ入っていった。小田さんは私の姿を見てすごいびっくりしたみたいだったけど、浮気がバレたことが分かると開き直って別れ話を切り出してきたわ。宇佐美と一緒になるつもりだから別れてくれってね。その言葉を聞いた途端、完全に頭に血が上っちゃって、気がついたら近くに落ちてた灰皿で小田さんを殴っていたわ。それからは桐生さんが言った通りよ。私はロッカーにあった制服に着替えて、わざと裏口の前で誰かが来るのを待っていた。少しして誰かが客席の方からやってきたから、顔を見られないようにして裏口から出て行った。それで部外者の自分には絶対に疑いがかからないだろうって思ったわ。
Several years passed. I ran into Kinoshita-san and we eventually got married. I started selling things as a hobby, and it soon turned into a business. Before I knew it, it grew into a large company. It's been 6 years since that day, and my life's been going so well. I can't believe the truth came out now of all times. Yuko-san. Did you ever think what it felt like for Akishi-san to have to bear these false charges? What it felt like to be knocked down from rock bottom and have his freedom stolen from him these past 6 years? And think what would have happened if we hadn't revealed the truth just now. How many more years would he have suffered? Only the person who took Akishi's freedom away can give it back. You need to turn yourself in. Testify in front of a court and pay for your crimes. I can escort you to the station. Yes. Yuko. I'll be right here waiting for you when you get back. Masaru. Thank you. Extra. Guilty criminal of 6-year-old murder turns herself in. The man originally accused of the crime now stands to be acquitted at a new trial. I was wrong about the media. I thought you just went from one person to the next, looking for gossip. I didn't think you cared about people in your articles. I figured you just forgot about them the second they left your pages. But you've been worrying about my brother this whole time. You even proved he's innocent. There are decent people in the media. Thank you so much for helping him. Nozomi-san, I also have to apologize for the way I treated you. I want to give you a reward for helping me get a retrial for my brother.
Yeah.
You don't owe me anything, as much as I hate to admit it. I didn't do anything on this one. Proving your brother's innocence was all the work of Kiryu-san here. I certainly don't deserve any reward from you. What are you babbling about? You did what a real journalist is supposed to do.
Eh?
What do you mean? Sure, you wrote an article saying Akishi was a murderer, but now you've written an article clearing his name. Isn't that the way real journalist is supposed to resolve things?
なるほど。
Sure, but I won't let this be the end of it. I'll continue to follow the truth until the day I put down my pen. That's my duty as a reporter. Then I'll be cheering you on. You got 200,000 yen. Okay, that was a big level up. There we go. Well, we're just gonna make a little bit of save here. Where was we? Let's have to double check here. Yes, we are on. We are on sub-stories. Did we have any interesting sub-stories left? Straight to the top. Not interested in that one. No. I invested in the tuna fund recommended at me at the sushi bar. It seems to be tied with Okinawa somehow. Apparently somebody's been doing hit and stops. Better watch out for a black sedan. Yeah, that one made 0 sense. The editor told me to go see Hirano's father. I should be able to find him at the pharmacy at the Kariushi arcade. I think that's in the other place. Treasure, skipping that. Oh, Kushi 1 star. We can do that one. We're close by as well. Very good. Well, how was it? That bone marrow extract just about kicks ya in the teeth. But then the pigskin comes in and soften and sweeten the blow. It's a fighting fit tonkotsu for sure. Not to mention the broth so darn good you could drink it to the very last drop and still want a whole nother cup. So what do you think? Worthy of the Kyushu #1 star name? Well, I'll be darn. That was practically pretty good. Actually, pretty good. First thing I noticed was the bone marrow. Goes down smooth like gravy on a water slide. I gotta say, wrapping it in pigskin collagen was the right choice. And those thin noodles, absolutely brilliant. Tastes right at home with the broth. I noticed you put a few other goodies in there that balance out the flavor. And as you said, I could drink it to the very last drop. Now this is rich tonkotsu that puts us on the map. It's amazing you could condense all these complex flavors into a cup of instant noodles. Nice work figuring that out. Well, it quickly became obvious that I couldn't just use your recipe. There was always something missing. It seemed, so I had to think outside the broth. So I focused on methods unique to my industry in order to really pick apart the magic of how it's made. See, in order to bring out that rich tonkotsu flavor, I had to crush the pork bone, and I mean pulverize it. Otherwise the collagen wouldn't leak out into the soup. Well, whatever you did. You got the flavor down pat. This is the kind of noodle I'd be proud to put my logo on. Then does that mean my creation passes the test? Arm crossed. I'd say it passes with flying colors. You may use the Kushu No 1-star branding with my full support. Note that his body language said no, but he gave his approval, which means crossing your arms is not a negative thing in Japan. In your face, body language readers. Yes! Now I can eat Kushu No 1-star ramen wherever I want. Wait a minute, young man. You mean to tell me this was all just so you could eat my ramen anytime? Well, that was the big part of it. So your tonkutsu finally made the grade. Good thing you kept at it. Well, if it wasn't for you, it never would have happened. I really ought to thank you. I mean, who else would have thought to use sweet, succulent pigskin from Okinawa? And the way you crushed those thugs, it was pure artistry at work. Now I'd like to find some way to thank you, Mr. I never caught your name. It's Kazuma Kiryu.
Kiryu-san.
Kiryu-san, I really do appreciate you going out for your way to help me. Here, take this ramen sample as a token of my gratitude. It's a test sample, but it's been approved by the master. So it's as good as anything you'll find in the restaurant. Sample. Well then, Kiryu-san, it's high time I mosey back to the company and boot up the assembly line for these babies. I'll send you the finishing product once it's ready to go. He really pulled it off, huh? I tell ya, that kid's got a lot of heart. Looks like you found yourself a worthy prodigy. Indeed. Wish my son had half the spark that kid does. Never thought my logo would end up on a cup of instant noodles, but you know what? I can hardly wait to see it. Now I'll have to work extra hard to keep my customers coming to the restaurant instead of just buying it at the store. At any rate, while you be having today? Nothing. I just wanted to end that sub-story. Okay, let's see if we find anything more. We go from the top this time. Locky key. I think we sold that necklace by mistake somewhere. I got a map that leads to the Kamashita treasure. Nope, we're done. Main mission, here we go.
Hey!
So to hospital, here we go.
白鵬会の連中か。急いでるんだ。通させてもらうぜ。 そうか。じゃあ死にてえやつだけかかってこい。
Here we go.